Mike's MMA picks here, right back at you with another lightning quick breakdown for UFC Kansas City. We're going to be speaking about a men's flyweight matchup where we have Matheus Nicolau taking on Brandon Royval in what will likely be a fantastic bout that may potentially have a number of scrambles and submission attempts and possibly a knockout blow. I am really looking forward to this fight. I have had an extensive third-party tracked record and have excelled when picking flyweight fights. And this is a fight that's been on my radar for quite some time. We've been watching the line here blow out. Brandon Royval now sitting at plus 180 at the betting window. Matheus Nicolau minus 225. Now, Matheus Nicolau is typically a counter striker under Pederneiras, who is a fighter who relies on his lateral movement. He's going to put his back against the cage and rely on his opponent to make mistakes and charge towards him. And then he'll unleash a left hand. He can throw some kicks, but he also doesn't necessarily have the best chin himself. I've seen him dropped by Dustin Ortiz back in the past, and he also has spent time on the sidelines with the USADA suspension back in the day. Brandon Royval, he will take big risks. That's one thing that we know against Matt Schnell and others. He's had situations where he'll take one to give one, and he will get taken down. He will not succumb to positions. He won't accept positions. That's one thing that really stands out when I watch the tape on Brandon Royval is the kid is always working, always grinding, and he tries and finds a way to persevere in many of these spots. I was on Alejandro Pantoja against Brandon Royval, and that was a heck of a sweat there. Towards the end of that fight, you could see Pantoja was locking up a submission, and he was starting to gas out, and Royval was turning the tide in that spot. Both of these fighters have common opponents in Matt Schnell. Matheus Nicolau coming off of the knockout victory. Now, Nicolau doesn't possess the most fan-friendly style of fighting. He's going to as I mentioned, rely on his opponents to make mistakes and charge towards him. And Nicolau does have a ground game. I think that this fight's going to get sloppy and dirty, and it's going to involve a pace being pushed, and that is where Brandon Royval can excel in this spot as an underdog. He's going to try to push a pace and end up drowning Matheus Nicolau. I do see that happening here in Kansas City in front of a massive crowd. Now, Royval could potentially get knocked out here. I think that is an outcome. That is a possibility, but I'm looking at these odds, and at plus 180, I believe there is significant value on Brandon Royval in this spot. I'll be playing him for a unit, that plus 180. And I think that he's going to come out of the other side of this fight the victor. But it's going to take some risk taking to accomplish this task. Royval is going to have to mix in the threat of a takedown, spinning attacks. He's going to have to surprise Nicolau, who's quick in his own right and is a very intelligent fighter, and it's going to take a lot for Nicolau to get caught up in a firefight. But Royval has the skills to make this fight ugly, and that's where he excels. So I'm going to be picking Brandon Royval in this spot. I want to thank everybody for tuning in today, and remember to go get what's yours. Have a great rest of your evening.